most unbelievable hour of television begins right now.
Performer Cinder Moon is preparing for one truly shocking, unbelievable act. Because in just a moment, atop this platform, perched above a custom-made Tesla coil, she'll attempt to endure 500,000 heart-stopping volts as it courses directly through her body.
I know that this is extremely dangerous, and maybe one of these days I may not be getting off of it.
Her fascination with electricity began when she was just a girl.
When I was approximately 3 years old, I saw the most incredible thunderstorm. I was seduced by it back then, and I think that's why I do what I do today.
For safety, paramedics are standing by. To prevent any accidental electrocution, the area is cordoned off. No spectators will be allowed within 100 feet of the performance. Cinder is ready to go, and so is the Tesla coil. She crouches into position and prepares for the high-voltage jolt. With a flip of a switch, the power starts to surge. 500,000 volts crackle and pop. It travels around and through Cinder's body. And then incredibly, it shoots from her fingertips, which are encased in metal to help direct the electrical energy. Now she's illuminating a fluorescent tube simply by picking it up. But for the grand finale, Cinder channels the current from her feet, up past her intestines, and through her neck. Now she opens her mouth, and unbelievably, for a few short seconds, the electricity escapes from the most sensitive part of her body, her unprotected tongue. Cinder Moon safely sustains 500,000 volts of electricity. And that is truly one sizzling, unbelievable act. Would you believe? This man can ride his bike standing on the seat. Now, he'll risk his life to try it on the edge of a 16-story building.
One step out of the way, you're gone.
A pizza man's delivery turns into disaster when a steel rod smashes through the windshield and all the way through his skull. See what happens when they try to pull out the pole. This building is packed wall to wall with mummies. But why has one little girl remained untouched by time? Ripley's cracks the mystery of the angel under glass. Plus, the tree-climbing dog that thinks it's a cat. And can these knockout nuns kick their hard-hitting habit? Unbelievable? Believe it. On Ripley's Believe It or Not.
Hello, this is Ripley's. Scorpions are known for their venomous, stinging tail, but most people don't know that they also have sharp pinchers and they bite. Russell Rogers knows it all too well, but that doesn't stop him from getting into a box with 500 stinging, pinching, and biting scorpions. Take a look. They are among the world's most deadly creatures. Their stings can prove fatal in minutes. But this man is so obsessed by scorpions, he's going to risk getting stung by hundreds of them. Believe it or not, he'll try to let the potential killers crawl all over his body for 5 unbroken minutes and try to survive without protection of any kind. It's a feat even this veteran insect handler would not dare attempt.
500 scorpions. If the person were to get bit, the dosage of venom could be lethal.
As a boy growing up in South Carolina, Russell Rogers collected all kinds of bugs, from worms to tarantulas. But he soon developed a special affinity for scorpions, particularly the African emperor scorpion.
And I freaked all my friends out, my family, people at my job, just everything. But they kind of thought I was weird.
Russell's fascination grew into an obsession, and he began taking his now burgeoning crew of 100 scorpions out in public.
Oh man, I was getting all kind of responses. Crazy, people just holding their breath. It's not like a snake or an iguana. It has a stinger, the pincher, so they know it's deadly. I know they're deadly, they know it's deadly.
These guys will continuously sting you all day long. Located at the tip of their tail is the venom sac and stinger, which is right here. They also have really sharp claws, and they'll pinch really hard too.
To begin his amazing demonstration, Russell delicately steps into a 6-foot-long plexiglass box. The clock starts running. Can Russell possibly last for 5 minutes with these venomous creatures?
They're all on top of each other.
Russell must remain perfectly still to avoid being stung. Since he's never attempted anything on this scale, Russell doesn't really know what to expect if the scorpions become aggressive.
Somebody that gets into a tub with this many scorpions just has to be crazy. These are a lot of bugs, and a lot of things could go wrong fast.
They keep pouring in on his chest, then on his face. If Russell is stung, the amount of venom from this many scorpions could shut down his body. And unlike a bee, which can only sting once, scorpions bite repeatedly, making this demonstration even more dangerous. Poisoning or allergic reactions are definite possibilities. As the revolting bugs begin to engulf his body, Russell can't help but get a little fidgety.
Oh, they feel like they're digging in me. They feel like they're digging in my skin.
Russell is now covered with 500 deadly scorpions, but he's not stopping. He does something no one was prepared for. Signaling for more scorpions, the animal wranglers resort to a backup supply. Bucket after bucket, they begin to bury Russell. 1,000 scorpions, and the arachnids keep coming. 1,500. The bugs are crawling all over Russell, but he is not ready to quit. The men dump the last bucket of bugs in with Russell, bringing the grand total up to a whopping 2,000 scorpions. Still, Russell is not ready to get out. But 4.5 minutes in, the scorpions suddenly do something Russell hadn't planned on. They begin nipping at him with their claws, and some scorpions have even crawled into his pants.
Oh, I feel them everywhere. I feel stingers pinching me and sticking me. It feels like a bunch of needles just sticking me right now.
After being clawed by the bugs for what seems like an eternity, Russell decides that enough is enough. He gives a signal, and just as he hits the 5-minute mark, he is slowly lifted out, careful not to startle the scorpions. Keeping his cool, Russell survives inside this tank with 2,000 live scorpions. Despite finding more than he bargained for in his shorts, Russell Rogers displays amazing self-control and even leaves the crowd with a truly distasteful finale.
Only on Ripley's, believe it or not.
Death by scorpion sting is the result of respiratory or heart failure, which happens hours after the bite occurs. But don't worry, we stayed with Russell the entire day. He's all right. Now, every time you think you've heard it all, another Ripley story comes along that shatters the boundaries of unbelievable. Kind of like a piece of steel shattering a skull. Now, I must warn you that some of these following images are graphic, and not for those with a weak stomach. With the end of his shift approaching, pizza delivery man Ezra Bias couldn't wait to finish his last run and get home to his wife and baby daughter. But little did he know, this simple delivery was about to turn into disaster. Because out of nowhere, a steel rod smashed through Ezra's windshield and, believe it or not, embedded itself deep into his skull.
I can't remember ever having something like this. It's almost inconceivable how something like this would happen.
At 22 years old, Ezra eked out a living at a local pizza parlor in Spokane, Washington. It wasn't his dream job, but it did pay the bills. But on August 1st, 2000, a typical shift ended in tragedy. Strangely enough, it was a day that Ezra's wife, April, had an eerie premonition about.
I kind of had a feeling that morning from the time I woke up until he left for work that I just didn't want him to go to work. Like this weird sick feeling in my stomach, and I don't know why.
Ezra had just set out on his final delivery, and all of a sudden, a 2-foot steel rod laying in the road was kicked up by a passing car and skewered his head. Unbelievably, as the car flipped, it drove the steel bar even deeper into his skull until 2.5 inches of the pole actually came out the back of Ezra's head and embedded itself into the seat. Never losing consciousness and with the pole still wedged in his forehead, Ezra was rushed to the hospital. But would he survive? And if he did make it, would he be left permanently brain damaged?
I remember seeing the pole in his head and just being overwhelmed with just aching and feeling like I was going to throw up. It was just awful.
Dr. Jeffrey Hirschauer was Ezra's emergency room physician. In all his experience as a doctor, he had never seen anything like it.
This is a very freaky kind of accident.
Removing the steel rod would be extremely dangerous. The smallest mistake could leave Ezra permanently brain damaged or dead. As he fades in and out of consciousness, Ezra can hear the sounds of doctors in a race to save his life. And as he lays helpless, his terrified wife does everything she can to calm her husband's fears.
I told Ezra that I loved him and that I would be there for him no matter what.
As Ezra is wheeled into surgery, his young wife can only wait and hope that her husband will survive the critical procedure.
Still ahead, can Ezra's body possibly sustain this kind of trauma? Will he be left brain damaged? The emergency life and death surgery is next.
Taking this thing out, he could die from some bleeding deep down.
Also, the incredible new trend taking over the tattoo world.
If you've got a black light tattoo, you'd be the life of the party.
And we'll tell you why women by the dozen are handing over their bras to this man. That and more when Ripley's returns. You're watching Ripley's Believe It or Not.
A piece of steel has impaled a man right in the head. The fact that he didn't die on the spot is unbelievable. But then the projectile must be removed in a life or death procedure. And even if the operation is successful, will he be able to function again? Well, you're about to find out. A 2-foot steel rod through the skull threatens the life of 22-year-old Ezra Bias. Now doctors must attempt a difficult surgery to remove the pole and put Ezra's skull back together. The surgery begins. Inch by inch, the medical team carefully removes the metal pole. With the first few centimeters out, Ezra's vital signs look good. The doctors continue extracting the rod a little bit at a time.
My major concern at the onset was that when taking this thing out, we might start some bleeding and he could die from some bleeding that was deep down. The next major hurdle was infection.
1 foot of the pole is now free, but Ezra is not out of the woods yet. Doctors must take special care not to cause any further damage. And with the final inch of the steel rod dislodged, surgeons now face the monumental task of piecing Ezra's shattered skull back together.
He had obviously holes in the covering of the brain and the dura and laceration of the brain itself, and so we had to close up the covering of the brain, the dura, both front and back, and then close the wound.
Incredibly, just days after the emergency surgery to save his life, the man impaled through the brain at last opens his eyes.
I don't remember my first thought when I woke up. I remember nurses checking to see if I had feeling in my feet. I think it was the second day of the accident. My feeling came back.
But only time would tell if the accident affected his brain. After an agonizing 2 months of physical therapy, Ezra is released from doctor's care. Amazingly, although nerve damage has left Ezra with a slight limp and limited use of his left arm, there is no permanent brain damage. Had the pipe hit Ezra 1/2 inch to the right, 2 major arteries would have been speared and would almost certainly have proven deadly. Today, with only a dime-sized scar visible on his forehead, Ezra feels the accident actually changed him for the better.
I'm not really the same person I was before I was in the car accident. I think I'm a lot stronger than I used to be.
And when Ezra revisits the section of road where he almost died, he realizes just how fortunate he really was.
When I'm standing in this area here, it makes me think of how my life got completely changed and how fortunate I am to be standing here today.
Doctors don't believe that Ezra will regain the use of his left arm, but they also said that he'd never walk again.
Enter Robert Ripley's archives.
Let's go with the show. Robert Ripley, believe it or not. Believe it or not.
The year is 1960. This housing development in Fort Lauderdale, Florida looks like any other. But the new house on the block is literally turning the neighborhood upside down. Builders construct this home flipped over. From the kitchen appliances to the car in the garage, everything is attached to the floor, which is now the ceiling. The inverted house is built as a promotional gag for a new housing tract and successfully draws hundreds of potential buyers to the location. Believe it or not.
Tattoos. They're a very personal form of expression. Some people like to have their tattoos out in the open for all to see. Other people like to hide theirs and only show them to a privileged few. Well, Ripley's found a guy in San Francisco who may have found the perfect middle ground. No tattoo. Yes, tattoo.
Greg Culls is a popular tattoo artist in the trendy Haight-Ashbury section of San Francisco. And although tattoo shops are a dime a dozen in this avant-garde neighborhood, Greg's customers give him glowing reviews. Because believe it or not, his tattoos glow in the dark.
I'm the originator of blacklight tattooing.
Greg uses a material called zinc sulfide to make his tattoos glow. It works by reflecting light, and most importantly, it's non-toxic to humans. But due to its mud-like consistency, Greg has refined his tattooing technique.
You use the same equipment, but the particle size is much denser than the regular pigment, so the technique is a little bit more difficult and time-consuming.
Today, Ripley's is observing Greg as he goes to work on his latest customer. First, Greg transfers the design onto his patron's arm. Then, he gets down to work, carefully tattooing the skin inch by tedious inch.
When I do a blacklight tattoo, in a way I'm kind of working blind. So I kind of have to, while I'm doing the tattoo, just visualize in my head where I've tattooed and where I haven't. And then at points I go under black light and check it out to make sure that it's fully saturated.
It's beautiful.
Within an hour, Greg's done. It's practically invisible in daylight, but bursts to life under black light.
I think they're fantastic. I think glow-in-the-dark tattoos are beautiful. Very exciting.
If you've got a black light tattoo, you'd be the life of the party.
Ripley's legally insane. We travel the globe in search of the most unbelievable laws on the books. Pocatello, Idaho. Step into this town with a frown on your face, and you could get sent to the slammer. Believe it or not, in this city, it's actually against the law not to smile. The quirky law was passed in 1948 to help cheer up citizens after that year's severe and crippling winter. Next, these people jab their bodies with thorny, flesh-pricking cactus, but it's just a warm-up for what's coming up. And she died nearly a century ago, so what's kept this little girl's body preserved through the ages? Plus, the dog that can actually climb trees. Wait till you see how he gets from here to here. Next on Ripley's. Ripley's goes to the ends of the earth in search of the unbelievable. The ancient Peruvian scissors dance is a ritual known for its beauty, grace, and startling self-mutilation.
The point for the dancers of the show that indeed they are extraordinary people. They are special people. They can do things that ordinary people will not do.
The dangerous tradition is part of a week-long festival. This painful dance is meant as a powerful demonstration of faith. With villagers gathering from miles around, the dancers begin by entering into a kind of altered state. As a warm-up, performers astound the audience by endlessly pricking themselves with sharp cactus needles. But things get truly bizarre during the festival's piercing finale. Dancers thread wire-like material through their faces or necks and walk down the line, unbelievably somehow impervious to the pain. Beginning with one rope, each dancer tries to outdo the last. Finally, this man amazes crowds as he carefully walks with 3 ropes threaded through his skin. Incredibly, he is able to go back and forth, a total of 60 feet, with 3 pieces of rope through his face and neck.
Their task is to do these things and complete these actions and to show the audience with their own eyes.
There are no winners, but crowd favorites become local celebrities and are invited to perform in future festivals.
The secret to keeping a dead body in perfect preserved condition was held by one single mortician. Until now. Ripley's is the first to reveal what keeps these dead bodies looking like they're still alive.
This ancient cemetery in Palermo, Sicily is considered among Italy's most beautiful. But just below the elegant surface lies the Cappuccini Catacombs, a ghastly library of human decay. Here, bodies are literally stacked and piled for all to see. In the past, it was a custom for families to actually visit with the body of deceased loved ones. For that reason, those who could afford it were mummified upon dying. The preservation was simple.
The bodies were laid out in an open area and basically allowed to naturally dry. Then after so many days, they would put them into an oven at a very low temperature and finish the drying process.
But mummification only slows down decomposition. It doesn't stop it. That's why the remains of one child are so astonishing. 2-year-old Rosalia Lombardo still looks like she did the day she died. Having passed away in 1920, people travel from around the world to see her. Some even consider her a miracle. And compared to the other mummified children from the same time period, it's easy to see why. Rosalia is flawless. Her skin and hair are perfect. Even her delicate eyelashes are preserved. Melissa Johnson is an expert on the art of embalming.
When you look at Rosalia, you can't believe that she's been dead for over 80 years.
This breathtaking perfection, compared to the decay all around her, is attributed to Dr. Alfredo Salafia, a world-renowned physician. It's reported he administered a secret combination of chemicals to the body only 6 hours after Rosalia died.
He definitely had a formula for his embalming fluid, but unfortunately he never published it and no one ever kept any record of it, so he's taken it to his grave.
But modern mortuary scientists like Melissa Johnson have discovered the secret to this angel under glass: arsenic. Experts believe it's responsible for the skin's copperish hue.
This is typical of the kinds of coloration that we see in bodies that we know for a fact have been embalmed with arsenic.
Although arsenic was commonly used by the ancient Egyptians, it's so toxic, the practice was discontinued long ago.
Arsenic was, of course, highly dangerous to the person who was using it, and you had to hope you didn't end up poisoning yourself.
And while we now know what was used to preserve Cappuccini Catacombs' miraculous angel under glass, for even the experts, the image of little Rosalia still has the power to amaze.
What Salafia did with Rosalia Lombardo is truly an art. I mean, I wish I could make sure that every case that I embalmed was like that.
Ripley's world of unbelievable animals.
On a small farm in Arcadia, Florida, lives a true one-of-a-kind, an animal oddity that defies explanation.
He's a strange dog. He came to our property one day, and he's been here ever since.
Meet Noodles, the world's only tree-climbing Cocker Spaniel. That's right, this 20-pound pup can climb the bark of a trunk and scramble through the branches of this giant 3-story oak tree. Noodles was a stray who wandered into the life of Lois Fredevog. He was soon making his home amongst a farm full of animals, and his new best friend, a German shepherd named Diefenbaker. However, Noodles was about to set himself apart from the rest of this brood in a very different way.
One day we were looking for him, and our other dog was barking up in the tree, so we looked up in the tree, and sure enough, that's where we found him. We were just devastated. We thought, how did he get up there and how are we going to get him down?
But Noodles wasn't stuck. This dog actually enjoys climbing trees in much the same way a cat does.
He gets up just as easy as he gets down. The vet said he'd never seen anything or heard anything like this before.
Maybe not, but one thing's for certain, Noodles can always be found high atop the ground in his favorite hideaway, watching over the other dogs.
When Noodles is up there, he'll look around like saying, "Hi, I look cute, don't I?"
Still ahead, Eder Franco gets set to go 16 stories high. Can he balance his bicycle along the edge of this rooftop without falling?
No helmet, no parachutes. Can you believe it?
Plus, Jackie Chan's got nothing on these nuns. Find out why these Soup Kitchen sisters are mastering the martial arts. And this guy's building a ball out of brassieres. Ripley's reveals why women everywhere are supporting his cause and handing over their bras.
There's a guy who does something so dangerous on his bicycle that he was not even allowed to demonstrate his unique ability here in the United States. He can pop a wheelie 150 feet high. It's not something anyone should try at home.
Beautiful Brazil, known for its carnival, string bikinis, breathtaking beaches, and now, daredevil cyclist Eder Franco. You see, today, Eder is attempting the riskiest ride of his life. He'll try to ride his bicycle on the ledge of this 150-foot building. And even more amazing, He'll try to pull off this perilous performance without a net, lifeline, or safety device of any kind.
He's the only guy in the whole world that I've seen doing this kind of stuff, and it's pretty amazing.
At 42 years old, Eder is a hairdresser and father-to-be. But having ridden a bike all his life, he's gotten pretty good at it. Still, this demonstration of skill and nerves could cost him his life. Because when you're riding hairpin curves 16 stories high on a roof full of holes, one wrong move can be your last.
Eu me sinto muito livre, como se estivesse voando. E também me sinto bem e seguro por ter uma bicicleta totalmente apropriada para fazer esse tipo de manobra.
To kick off his fantastic feat, Eder is now beginning the long climb up the ladder to the roof. Since it's the rainy season, Eder must constantly watch the weather. Moisture translates into slippage, a situation Eder and his brother Mauricio must prevent at all costs. It's an extremely risky feat that should never be attempted by viewers. Eder carefully inspects the surface, looking for anything that might interfere and plunge him to his death. Making some last-minute adjustments, Eder's ready for a warm-up.
É muito arriscado, é muito alto. Nós estamos numa altura de quase 20 andares. Ele não vai fazer. Não vai.
Oh man, this guy's crazy, eh? What a perfect sense of balance, eh? Can you believe it? No mistake, man. One step out of the way, you're gone. No helmet, no parachutes.
Fearless, Eder rides with no hands along the roof's edge. Feeling confident, this daredevil pushes it even further. But is he tempting fate? Heading toward the roof's edge, Eder loses his balance. But amazingly, within inches of going over the edge, he regains control. Incredibly, Eder takes off one of the tires and begins doing unicycle loops. Even after all these years of watching his brother, Mauricio admits he still gets nervous.
Yes, I hold my breath a lot, you know. Actually, my knees shake, and it's kind of hard to see your brother, you know. It is.
After a few times around the roof on one wheel, Eder begins doing something no one expected, and something no one's tried at this height before. He's actually going to stand on his seat and let go with his hands while riding his bike like a surfboard. The spectators, many who are friends of Eder, are tense.
Eu ia fazer tudo para ele não fazer isso.
But Eder lives for danger, and sure of his skills, he takes off. With death looming only inches away, Eder surfs his bike with the precision and grace of riding a wave. Except here, the slightest breeze threatens to blow him off the roof and to his death. Maintaining the focus and concentration of a tightrope walker, he's halfway across. Riding 6 inches from the edge, Eder pushes on. Another foot, and he's made it. Staring death in the face and walking away, this hairstylist who moonlights as a daredevil sets a new standard for extreme cycling. Eder Franco, Brazil's bold and brave bike-balancing thrill-seeker, lives to ride another day.
Eu me senti como se estivesse descendo uma onda de 16 andares.
I love him so much, you know, and I was kind of scared because, you know, it's always a new time, but it's okay now. I feel a lot more relaxed now. Thanks, God.
Whew. And I don't like heights. This next guy scours the streets of San Francisco in search of women's underwear. Now, you may be asking yourself, why is this guy on Ripley's instead of on a wanted poster? Well, that's because, unbelievably, the women gladly take off their undergarments and hand them to this man. This, I gotta see. For centuries, the female form has inspired great works of art. And Ron Nicolino, for one, is an artist captivated by the female breast. And believe it or not, to prove it, he's creating the largest monument to breasts ever made. It's a lifelong obsession that shows up in much of the work that Ron has done throughout the years. Like the creation of 21,000 breasts using wet sand and gelatin molds. Or this depiction of a hypothetical bra bridge stretching across the Grand Canyon. And while he enjoys his work, it has a more serious side. For Ron, it's a way to raise awareness about his favorite charity, which is, you guessed it, breast cancer research. But Ron's greatest project by far is a work in progress known simply as the Bra Ball.
I did a number of public events over the years. 3 months on the train, zigzagging across Canada and the U.S., picking up bras from bra agents on the train platform, city to city.
The Bra Ball started small, almost 10 years ago. Growing out of his Grand Canyon project, Ron was in search of another use for all those bras. Then the artist in him took over, and he began rolling them into a ball. Since none of the bras are purchased, Ron relied on friends and family to keep him going. And as word spread, the ball grew. After only a year, this mass could no longer be moved by hand. After 5 years, it had grown to over 500 pounds. And donors actually began sending Ron bras through the mail. But for this artist, the most effective way of collecting new bras is by cruising around in his pink Cadillac and putting out donation bins. With our cameras by his side, Ron hit the streets of San Francisco. In no time, the ball, acting as a beacon, attracts women willing to give his cause a little lift. Now the sphere consists of 14,000 brassieres. One by one, they are carefully braided together. No sewing, no gluing, just hooks, lace, and underwire.
Bras donated as memorials to breast cancer victims, all the way from that to whimsical bras from dancers in Las Vegas, all kinds of bras.
Now the amazing Bra Ball concept is on a real roll. Standing over 5 feet high and weighing more than 1,300 pounds, it even requires a forklift to move it. But Ron says as long as support keeps pouring in, he'll keep adding to this work of art until it's literally busting at the seams.
Women will be able to add bras onto this forevermore. This thing is planning to get bigger and bigger.
This is it, the actual bra ball. Now, we asked if there were any celebrity bras buried inside. Nicolino says that he did receive a bra from supermodel Naomi Campbell. I wonder which one it is.
Next, what a shock. The nun's tough enough to take on the neighborhood thugs. Plus, this ring hides a deadly secret. The tiny trinket that'll truly blow you away. Next. Stories you can't imagine. People you won't believe. Ripley's Believe It or Not.
In the New York neighborhood of Harlem, the members of the Order Sisters of Nazareth contribute to the community by running a soup kitchen for the area's poor and homeless. But crime is always a potential problem on the mean city streets. So to protect themselves, these nuns are literally kicking around a new idea. They're training themselves in the martial arts.
Because we live in bad area, so the bishop said, you know, we can learn taekwondo.
Dressed in their religious habits and having received the bishop's blessing, the swinging sisters fine-tune their technique at a local gym. And with moves like these, bad guys don't stand a prayer of a chance. Thankfully, the sisters haven't had to use their combat skills yet. They hope just the concept of a karate chopping nun will be enough to keep muggers away. Believe it or not.
We've all heard about concealed weapons, but this adds a new wrinkle. This ordinary ring is definitely not so ordinary when you realize that it's actually a 6-shooter that fires miniature bullets filled with real gunpowder. The little trinket was developed around the turn of the 20th century and was sold as a novel form of self-protection. But this particular pistol was reportedly confiscated by authorities after being used in a string of bank holdups. Guns like this can fire a bullet that can be deadly up to 20 yards away. Unbelievable? Believe it.
Having trouble finding the hole.
That was the scariest thing I've ever done.
Only those with the guts.
All right, let's do this.
Win the glory.
I did! I'm so happy!
Fear Factor on its new night, Sunday starting at 7, begins next only on Chiller. Scary Good.
Scare Tactics. Back-to-back episodes. Tomorrow starting at 7. Only on Chiller. Scary Good.